HarperCollins presents Lies, Lies, Lies by Adele Parks, read by Rachel Bavidge and Sam Woolf.
Prologue. May 1976. Simon was 6 years old when he first tasted beer. He was bathed and ready for bed wearing soft pyjamas, even though it was light outside, still early. Other kids were in the street, playing on their bikes, kicking a football. He could hear them through the open window, although he couldn't see them because the blinds were closed. His daddy didn't like the evening light glaring on the TV screen. His mummy didn't like the neighbours looking in. Keeping the room dark was something they agreed on. His mummy didn't like a lot of things. Wasted food, messy bedrooms, daddy driving too fast, his sister throwing a tantrum in public. Mummy liked having standards. He didn't know what that meant, exactly. There was a standard bearer at Cubs. He was a big boy and got to wave the flag at the front of the parade, but his mummy didn't have a flag, so it was unclear. What was clear was that she didn't like him to be in the street after 6 o'clock. She thought it was common. He wasn't sure what common was either, something to do with having fun. She bathed him straight after tea and made him put on pyjamas so that he couldn't sneak outside. He didn't know what his daddy didn't like, just what he did like. His daddy was always thirsty and liked to drink. When he was thirsty, he was grumpy, and when he had a drink, he laughed a lot. His daddy was an accountant and liked to count in lots of different ways. A swift one, a cold one, and one more for the road. Sometimes Simon thought his daddy was lying when he said he was an accountant. Most likely, he was a pirate or a wizard. He said to people, "Pick your poison," which sounded like something pirates might say. And he liked to drink the hair of a dog in the morning at the weekends, which was definitely a spell. Simon asked his mummy once about it, and she told him to stop being silly and never to say those silly things outside the house. He had been playing with his Etch-a-Sketch, which was only 2 months old and was a birthday present. Having seen it advertised on TV, Simon had begged for it, but it was disappointing. Just 2 silly knobs making lines that went up and down, side to side, limited, boring. He was bored. The furniture in the room was organised so all of it was pointing at the TV, which was blaring but not interesting. The news. His parents liked watching the news, but he didn't. His father was nursing a can of the grown-ups pop that Simon was never allowed. The pop that smelt like nothing else, fruity and dark and tempting. "Can I have a sip?" he asked. "Don't be silly, Simon," his mother interjected. "You're far too young. Beer is for daddies." He thought she said daddies, but she might have said baddies. His father put the can to his lips, glared at his mother, cold, a look that said, "Shut up, woman, this is man's business." His mother had blushed, looked away as though she couldn't stand to watch, but she held her tongue. Perhaps she thought the bitterness wouldn't be to his taste, that one sip would put him off. He didn't like the taste, but he enjoyed the collusion. He didn't know that word then, but he instinctively understood the thrill. He and his daddy drinking grown-ups pop. His father had looked satisfied when he swallowed back the first mouthful, then pushed for a second. He looked almost proud. Simon tasted the aluminium can, the snappy, biting, bitter bubbles, and it lit a fuse. After that, in the mornings, Simon would sometimes get up early, before Mummy or Daddy, or his little sister, and he'd dash around the house before school, tidying up. He'd open the curtains, empty the ashtrays, clear away the discarded cans. Invariably, his mother went to bed before his father. Perhaps she didn't want to have to watch him drink himself into a stupor every night. Perhaps she hoped denying him an audience might take away some of the fun for him, some of the need. She never saw just how bad the place looked by the time his father staggered upstairs to bed. Simon knew it was important that she didn't see that particular brand of chaos. Occasionally there would be a small amount of beer left in one of the cans.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?